So, let us start. See the this is CS698X and the title of this course is actually multimodal biometric systems, and I am the instructor in charge and I am Falguni Gupta. So, very often you will be thinking about that, what is that biometrics, whether I will be able to understand the course or something like that. It is nothing like that. The biometric system is generally developed based on your physiological or behavioral characteristics, right. Now, what do we mean by physiological characteristics? Every individual has certain characteristics which he is maintaining with himself. Say for example, your face is a physiological characteristic. By seeing your face, you can identify yourself, right. You may feel, no, this is not my photograph, maybe I was not in good mood, or the camera did not take my photograph properly, that is different, but at least you will understand that this is my face, right. Similarly, your fingerprint or palm print or footprint, iris and so on. There are several physiological characteristics you are continuing with yourself. Similarly, the behavioral characteristics, the way you walk, right, from the back side, when you are walking from the behind also I can understand that he is going. The way you make the sound while walking, right. So, that is also unique in characteristics, or the way you press the keyboard, the way you speak and so on, right. Now, there are several other characteristics, but you cannot consider all the characteristics as your biometrics characteristics, right. You can select only those characteristics as biometrics characteristics which are unique in nature, right. Suppose I consider that this is my biometrics characteristic, right, but you will not be able to identify the individual by seeing only this arm part, right. So, this is not unique in nature, but if I tell that the face is a biometrics characteristics, you will accept it, because every face looks different except some few cases like twin brothers, twin sisters, but there also there are certain indication is there through which the parents understand he is Mr. X and he is Mr. Y, even though they are twin. Now, where to get these characteristics? That is with the individual himself, it is not outside, right, and it should be taken in such a way that you should feel that it is unique in nature. That feeling must be there, and there are certain other parameters you have to understand, that not only uniqueness, it must exist to everybody. It is only you are telling, no, I have only one finger and others they do not have, let us consider this is a biometric character, it is not allowed, that it should be available to every individual, right. Then next one is that it should be permanent. It should not be like that, today it is available, tomorrow it is not there. So, those issues, characteristics will be there of any biometric trait, and how to get it. Next question is that how to get this biometric characteristics. So, obviously, that camera is one source or sensor is one source, right. Through any sensors, you will be able to get the biometric characteristics, and once you get that image or the sensor data, you need to process it. That through processing you have to get certain features. Those features will be used for your identification or recognitions. Are there any constraints? There are many constraints while you are collecting the data. First constraint is the atmosphere, right. For example, we decide to take the fingerprint image through some sensor, and most of us we take food using hand. So, after lunch I fix the time, and I have decided to collect your thumb impression right hand thumb impression. So, you have come after food and you will find, even though you put your lot much soap water and other things, you will find that some grease materials are in your fingers. So, when you give the your impression, possibly your data will be able to get it correctly, there will not be any problem, much problem. But the next person, once he comes, he will find difficulty. Reason is that you have given your fingerprint impression on the scanner, which is still there, right. So, collecting data is different, right. Atmosphere creates problem, because weather, suppose it is a sweaty weather. Now, if I take your photograph will be different. If I take at this moment, if I take your photograph outside the building, because your face will change, right. The light source, the way we take the photograph, if we see that the light may come from this side, that side and so on. But if I take your photograph outside this building in the sunny weather, your face will be different. Or the background, that in the background if you find that there is a red cloth or green cloth and I take a photograph, then the light will be reflected on your face from the cloths also, right. Similarly, is the case with the, suppose I decided to take your palm print, right, and in the palm print, if it is on the sand, palm print, you know, only possible, palm print means this is the palm and I want to take the photograph. This is only possible when you touch something, right. So, if it is on the sand area, I get it, I take the photograph, but that will have different type of noises, right, lot many noise will be there. But if I take the your palm information from the glass of where you have taken, using that you have taken water, then that will be, you know, some different format. So, projection arithmetic will come in between to project something on the plane. So, there are several such constraints on each image, on each sensor or each such type of data, and these constraints has to be minimized. Now, biometrics itself is not a course, that I cannot tell that biometrics is a course and something. Biometrics has been, see, this is been defined using mainly these three parameters. One is image processing, another one is pattern recognition and the statistics. So, we will take the help of these three courses to explain how to design a biometric system. Agreed? Now, obviously, you will be telling or thinking that do I have to have the pre-knowledge or prerequisite of image processing, pattern recognition or statistics? Answer is no, you do not need any such type of background, because all of these will be covered as and when we require, right. But I assume that you have the little knowledge on statistics. That is the only thing, my requirement, that if I have to start that probability A B equals to probability A plus probability B minus probability A B, then I am in problem. So, I assume that knowledge you have, right, or what do you mean by two variables are independent, those knowledge I am assuming that you have. But image and pattern recognition, I assume that you do not have any knowledge, because we generally, do you have any knowledge in image processing? Who is having little knowledge on image processing? So, we will don't worry about that, but you know what is image, right? What is image? Collection. So, you know the word pixel, right? What is that pixel? Unit of an image, right? And it represents what? An image. So, if I tell a 5 megapixel, what does it mean? My dear, 5 megapixel means what?
The intensity of a pixel.
In your 1x1, right? So, 5 billion points are there, each point is a pixel, right. Now, if I know that from the camera, if I take a photograph and if I know the area it has covered, that image has that area and that many pixel is there. So, you know what is the area of each pixel, it may be 1 nanometer by 1 nanometer or something like that, right? You can easily compute that one. Am I right? Yes. So, that pixel represent some area of your face or of your fingerprint or something like that. And that means image can be represented by a 2-dimensional array, right. It does not have the concept of the depth, it has only the 2-dimensional array, and it may be 100 cross 100 or 128 cross 64, and each of them has certain, it represents certain length or width of the face or fingerprint and so on. Am I right? And that image process, through certain processing, that image has to be manipulated, so that it can be used for your identification. Now, one easy question is that, sir, what is the problem? I have a photograph and another photograph. You just check it, match it, and take the decision whether it is matched or not, right? I have taken your photograph, and in my database your photograph is there. The two photographs, I take the diff, and I take the decision whether it is matched or not. Yes or no? So, image by image matching could have been done, but the problem is that if I take the image by image matching, say if it is a 512 cross 512 image, that means 512 cross 512 diff operations is required, which is very costly, because I am not thinking about the only one person, you have to think about 1 or 100 million people. Second thing is that just now I have taken a photograph at a distance of 1 meter, and maybe previous photograph is having the distance of 2 meters. So, there will be certain changes, or the angle may be different, right. All those issues will come into a picture. So, image by image matching is not a possible solution. Also, the quality of image, also you may find that light source is different and all those things, color may be different. Today, you have come in front of camera without putting any talcum powder, and after time t you have come with lots many cosmetic materials. So, intensity value of each pixel will be different. So, difference will not give you the proper solution. So, what we do through image processing, we try to enhance the image. That is the only thing we do. We enhance the image and retain with us. Now, from that enhanced image, we try to extract certain features, right. What is that features? Say in the case of fingerprint, if you check, there exist several lines which are known as ridges or valleys. Now, under these ridges, there you will see that in some cases the ridges suddenly ends, or it has bifurcated. It has from one ridge, then you find that 2 ridges have come out, and so on, right. So, this bifurcated point is a feature point, right. Similarly, the case with the palm print, if you see the palm, there are certain lines are there. These are known as principal lines, right. These principal lines have certain properties. Along with that, you will find there are certain ridges, here also ridges are there. So, these ridges also do have those properties, and all such type of characteristics. We need to extract those features through certain techniques. Once I get that features, I retain that features, and this feature size is not very big. So, that I retain it as in the form of vector. Now, in the form of vector, each element may be 3 tuples, maybe 5 tuples or some things. Now, once you get again that features from another image, I can have any distance matrix, or I can use any distance matrix to obtain how much it is deviating from the original one. And if it is less than some threshold, or if it is greater than some threshold, you can take that decision, yes, these two are matched or not matched, right. So, this is the pattern recognition, use of pattern recognition, and finally, the statistics, where I need to draw the conclusion based on some threshold, right. I have told you in the pattern recognition, you have to tell that if the difference is or distance between these two vector is less than some threshold, you are telling I accept, otherwise I reject. So, once you decide that way, then there is a chance that one day you may not have a good biometrics day. You could not give your biometrics data properly. And as a result, say for example, that today weather is very bad and full of that sweat on your face, and if I take your photograph and also you fought at home when you discussed or you did something outside your hostel and you created a nuisance there and you have come, then your face will be different, right. And then I want to match with this face with your database face where you have come with a suit and other things and your beautiful face is there, and I will find that there is a difficult for us to match it. That is not that we tell that your biometrics day is not good, say. In that case, what will happen? It will exceed the threshold and you will be thrown out. You will be told that no, it is not matched. Similarly, is the case that there exists for any system, there exists forger group also for anything. Always we like to bypass the system, or we like to see that how I can make the full a system, right. Always you have the habit. So, there exists, by you will be first day you will be caught, second day you will be caught, third day you will try to find out how I can bypass the system, so that I can enter into the system. So, once you do some, possibly by some method you will be finding that your difference, distance between the two vector becomes less than threshold and you have been accepted. That may occur, right. So, if it occurs, that means you have been falsely accepted. So, these measures comes under this category, that there are certain statistical parameters you have to consider to draw the final decision whether I am accepting or rejecting, right. So, there are in pattern recognition you will find that there exist two types of error, we will be discussing in detail later on. One is known as type 1 error and another one is known as type 2 error. In our case, we have one is falsely accepted, another one is falsely rejected, right. So, these two types of error, and this to measure this type error rate, we need to take the help of statistics. So, these are the three subjects we may need to use. So, in the image processing, what are the things we need to discuss or we will be discussing in our course? First one is that how to represent an image, because that is the important thing, because unless you know how to represent an image, you cannot proceed further. Then different types of images are there. We will discuss. So, for example, one is known as color image. Then what type of operations I can perform on any image, right. So, different types of operations, convolution, filtering. This is the most important one, we will be using it very regularly. This is edge detection, smoothing, sharpening, erosion, dilution, thinning and certain enhancement techniques. In the case of pattern recognition, first problem is coming image acquisitions, right. So, what do you mean by image acquisition? That see there is a sensor and you have to come and give your data, right. And I have to collect the data in such a way that this data is useful. What do you mean by useful? The data will be useful only when that I get the data very good quality. If the quality is poor, it is very difficult for us to identify something. Okay? So, the image acquisition system should be such that it should be useful for us or for us to determine something. Say for example, in today's if you see that yesterday night there was a bomb blast in Pune city, right. They have the CCTV, but they could not get anything out of it. So, that is image acquisition system is useless basically, right. So, the system should be such that I must get the photograph as or footage as and when I need and in the proper format. So, not only you are putting the camera, you should ensure that you are putting a camera in such a way that most of us will give the data in better format. Say for example, in the airport, I want to take your photographs. So, always since I told you that we have the habit to bypass the system, I will put my face little tilted or I will put something on my face, say occlusion, some paper here or something like that. So, that I want to see how much I can make the system a fold, right. Say general tendency what we can do, suppose at the time of entry I put some beautiful picture. So, obviously, everybody will like to see that picture and at that time I can capture your photograph. So, or I will put my path such a narrow way that only one person can go. So, that there is no concept of occlusion comes in between, right. There are several ways you can tackle, but this image acquisition plays an important role because you know if I do not get the good quality image, I will not get the good accuracy. So, there is a two terms we will be using, one is known as control environment, another one is known as non-control environment. In the control environment means that I fix my environment, the light source is this is my camera specification and I want that you should be able to give me the data in that format, say background, there should not be light background, all those things I am fixing it. So, that is known as control environment. And non-control environment, suppose in the football ground I want to take your photographs or I have a gallery of photographs and then I want to identify somebody. So, that is not under my control, that general photograph I got it and we are trying to do something. Now, once the image is there, I told you that we need to do certain processing. This is known as pre-processing and this will be done through image processing algorithms, what we will be covering in during our courses, and from that image processing we have to extract the features. The feature extraction techniques will be discussed and finally matching and decision will come in between. So, once I know all these things, so you are ready to know or start your work on biometrics. So, I have to define what is biometrics at that time. Once you define a biometrics, now how good is your biometrics? So, everybody can design a biometric system. First one is that if you declare something as a biometrics, you have to tell that it obeys certain properties. For example, it obeys the uniqueness or permanence, right. So, once it passes through certain parameters, then only you can tell yes, this is a possible biometric traits. Now, once you declare that this is a biometric traits, you have to tell that how good is your biometric system. So, performance has to be measured. Now, performance is to be measured means that it is not only with respect to that accuracy rate, it is not only with respect to probability that it will fail, it is also with respect to the time. We expect that it should be near real time, right. So, that we can take the decision on the right or as early as possible about his identification. Then also it should not be very costly, because if cost goes up, then nobody will purchase your system. So, those measures will be discussed. Then we will be discussing different biometric system. As I told you, the face is a biometric system, everybody has face, right. So, universality property obeys, right, and similarly other characteristics also it obeys to some extent. So, different types of biometric system we will be discussing. Then applications, where are you going to use it? Suppose we decide in some institutes they are planning or they also want to do that fingerprint system in the classroom attendance, right. In your class it is there, in your school fingerprint system? No. So, they decided that no, fingerprint system will be there in the classroom. A cost of a fingerprint is coming say 5,000 rupees, and if I purchase on mass scale maybe 4,000 rupees. And I have a class of size say 100 students, and I decided that at the entry point I put the two fingerprints, one is this side, another is that side. So, what will happen that, and all of you have the intention to come to the class at 9:01, not 8:59, right. That is the generally our habit. So, once you come at 9:01 and 100 students will be entering through the two gates. So, I assume that they are equally likely that they will be used, but generally you will find that this gate will be used more compared to the other one, right. So, is a long queue will be there, and while you stand in the queue, and we are human being, our mouth will not be stopped, it will be continuing like this with your friends and about the previous night story. So, by that process, while you entered, you already spent 10 minutes. It is fact, right? 10 minutes is nothing. Even if you take 10 seconds per individual, I lost 10 minutes. So, from my class hours, 10 minutes gone. What I achieve? I achieve that your attendance. What I lose? 10 minutes from my class, and what student gains? Nothing. See, for example, I am sure nobody will come to my class if he has not registered, right. So, there is no concept of, or I do not care about the false acceptance. If anybody wants to come falsely in my class, no problem, he sits here and he sleeps, whatever he wants to do, let him do, right. I do not care, agreed. And now is coming the falsely rejected, that a person is a genuine student, he wants to come to my class, and I am telling, no, my fingerprint system is telling, no, you are not a genuine person. So, falsely suppose I am rejecting. So, false acceptance, false rejection will create a problem for me, because a genuine student, he wants to come to my class. Anyway, the students are not coming to the class. Now, somebody wants to come and you are not. So, this will be a big problem for me, right. So, I do not want such a system where my genuine student wants to come and I am rejecting him. And not only that, I am spending money also for that. So, this is not a good proposition, right. Same thing in the case of, let us understand, in the case of nuclear plants, their issue is different, where I do not want somebody enters falsely, because then it will be havoc, there will be chaos. But at the same time, false rejection should be there, because you know, if you want to get some good thing, you have to bear some bad thing also. So, it is like that, that if I put my system very tight, not to allow any person falsely, so there are some genuine person also will be stopped, because that day his biometric data was not correct, or he could not provide the biometric data correctly. So, I am telling that you are not, sorry, I am not able to recognize him. He may have to give several times his data to get a, that is okay. So, there exist several applications for that. For example, another example I can give you, application, how come? Then another application is, say airport security, which is a, nowadays is a very, very common problem. So, there we decide that, you know, even though the CRPF or they are very tough man, but they are helpful. If you go there, they do not tell, no, your photograph is not matching, or you have not taken out your shoe, and that is why I am not allowing you. Then why don't you remove your shoe and go inside? Nothing wrong in that, right. So, the security level you have to understand what level of security you are expecting and how much flexibility you want to give on your system. Say for example, in ATM, what happens? If I give falsely accept more, then people will take money, right? But if I tell no, falsely accept, I will not allow, false rejection may be allowed. Then you will be unhappy. I have kept my money in the bank and now you are not allowing me to withdraw my money. So, there is a need of compromise between these two factors, right. So, this will be coming here. Next one is that what are the issues you have, because for every system you will realize there exist certain issues, critical issues, right. For example, in our country, most of us are cultivated. You may not be, are you cultivated? No. Have you seen the structure, the way they work? No. No. What is this? You are from which place? Maharashtra. There is no cultivation in Maharashtra? You have not visited those sites. It is too bad. You should go once, see how they cultivate, right. This is a different atmosphere. They do not care. See, they do not listen the radio or TV to know whether rain will be there or not, right. By seeing the atmosphere, they realize that tomorrow there will be rain. So, most of the cultivators, and 70% of people of India, they are cultivated or hard worker. So, most of these people, they do not have the fingerprint, they are plain, nothing is there. 15% of our population, they do not have the fingerprints, right. And now, suppose I introduce that your fingerprint is my source through which I will identify. So, 15% people I will not be able to tell whether they are genuine person or not. So, in the case of the government has certain policy, right, schemes, the poor people will get 200 rupees at the end of the month. And this poor people comes from that cultivation, hard worker, that group. And their fingerprint is not there. How can you give the money now? Right. So, you have to have certain alternatives. Now, this alternative, whatever you will be thinking, suppose I introduce what? Aadhaar card, have you given your Aadhaar card? Have you got your Aadhaar card? Some of you got it, right. So, in the Aadhaar card, they have taken not only your fingerprints, he has considered the 10 fingerprints and also he has considered your iris data, that eyeball data. Now, again, if I introduce there that iris data, iris camera costs something like that, between minimum cost is 80,000 and maximum cost is something 3 lakh rupees. Now, if I deploy this thing in village area, in each village I have to give at least one camera, and then there will be camera certain failure rate also, but the amount I am spending 80,000 rupees. And most of the village people, they have the problem with the eyes. It is not that they are having only the problem with the, somebody may have the problem with the finger, somebody will have the problem with the eye. They have cataract problem, some problem on the eye also. So, again rejection will be there, but there should be certain way you have to think that how can we minimize those issues. That is coming system security. How safe is my system? What example? For example, I have given the data, biometrics data. I have given 10 fingers data. That's 4, 4, then 2, right? That is the thing you have given. Also, I have given iris data. Are they safe? What is the guarantee that you have taken my 4, this one, his 4 and his 2 fingers, and you generated another fingerprint data? Nobody knows what you will be doing, but how you are making it, right? How safe is my system, right? That government of India can tell any time, or any government will tell that okay, you have collected the data, but what is the guarantee that his data you have not merged with his demographic data to generate another data? Because once I am collecting data, this data will be used for something, to to open my bank account or to draw 300 rupees per month, something like that. So, that system must be secured enough. The system errors. There are different types of errors you will find. One, as I told you, that false acceptance rate, false rejection rate, this is one type of error. Another one is the data acquisition system there is an error. The data system is not able to collect your data, right. The sensor is having the different type, that he is not able to collect the data, he is not able to perform the thing. So, every system hardware has certain error, right. Say for example, have you taken any photocopy anytime, any photocopy of a page, right. So, you have one original page, another photocopy page. Are they exactly same? You check it, they are not same, there exists certain error, but that error should be within some tolerable range, am I right? So, that range has to be measured. Next one is coming, that even the system is correct, but because you do not have proper fingerprints, so you are not able to give the data, system will not accept the data, because even though you are giving the data, but image is coming blank, nothing is there. Or if I tell you that you have to stand in front of a camera by keeping your eye open for 20 seconds, then only I will be able to collect your data. Now, 20 seconds you cannot keep your eye open, in between the blinking will be there, right. So, system will not be able to capture your image. So, these type of issues will come here. Then which biometric system you are going to use for this application? Given an application, I want to understand that this is my problem, now I want to use a biometric, tell me which biometric system, right. So, you have to obtain certain parameters through which you will be telling that this biometric system is good for your this application. Now, as I told you that this is a pattern recognition problem, a single, and once it is a pattern recognition problem, you will find that lot of error will be there, false acceptance rate, false rejection rate error, even though you try to minimize it. Say for example, for face recognition, I will be happy if my system is giving the accuracy of 88%. Now, under control environment, that is the word we use. Even though the vendor tells no, our system is 99.99% accurate, which is actually they have some other way to measure the accuracy, because they have to sell the product. For our case, it is not the question of selling the product. For our case, is how much research and development activity. So, 88% accuracy is sufficient for 88, 89. Now, from 88 to 91, improving may be a challenge for face recognition, but from 90, suppose I have a system of 99.2% accuracy and I want to make another system which will give you 99.25. That means the improvement by 0.05% itself is a very challenging one in pattern recognition. Right? 88 to 90, no problem, possibly you can achieve, but 99 and 98. Say if I have 98% accuracy and I want a system of 99, it is a very difficult problem. So, this accuracy I can make improve if I take the help of multiple biometrics and combine them, because there is no need. Why shall I use only signature? I have this in your JE application form, you have given signature, you have given your photographs. I could have taken the data of photographs and signature and combined the results to draw the conclusion whether you are the genuine person or not, right. So, most of us in general application will find that we collect the data more than one biometric trait, and we could have used both of them or more than those one parameters to take the decision on identifications. So, once you have to combine, that means you need to know how are you going to combine this. So, certain fusion strategies you have to define. So, this will be discussed. Now, these three parameters are very different parameters. I have the large database, biometrics database. Now, for a given image, I have to see whether it is there or not. So, searching will be a critical issue for us. So, what we do through classification, what we do based on your parameters, based on your behavior or other issues we can classify. Say for example, you know, in a crime area, the principle of locality holds good. What does it mean? That a thief will perform his operations only in few villages. A thief will not go to another village which is far away to steal something, because there exists another group of thieves. They will not allow this group to go there. There is a gang is there, right. So, the principle locality holds good. Now, suppose I have the database of all criminals or all thieves. So, what I will do, I can classify these thieves into different classes. This is of Kanpur zone, this is in Lucknow zone, this way, or based on the behavior of the thieves. See, the thieves also they keep some information at the crime area. Based on that, you can suspect that this type of operations being done by this type of thieves. That police also know this thing. So, I can classify the criminals based on certain operations. This is known as classifications. Once you have the classify, again within that you have suppose I am thinking about the database size of 125 crore people. How many classes? Maybe 5 class, 6 class you can make based on this. So, and if I assume that they are equally likely, then each of them are having the 25 crore people, big number. Now, I have the feature vector against each face data or fingerprint data. Can I cluster based on this data? Based on the feature vectors, can I cluster them? So, one common clustering technique you know is K clustering, right? K means clustering. Similarly, there exist other clustering techniques. So, those clustering techniques will be discussed here, but problem is little different. It is not like in the case of agricultural field where clustering is very easy, because your data is type is different. In the case of feature vectors, see let us consider this example, fingerprint size is very small, 1 inch by 1 inch. There are 300 points lying there. Now, suppose I want to cluster them based on these 300 points, that with your 300 points you will find that they are very closely associated. Clustering will be very difficult. So, this is not that easy problem. So, we are working, but we have not gone or we have not got good results yet. Then is coming indexing. Once you cluster them, then you have to properly index them, so that extracting the small set of people for matching will be useful, very easy, otherwise it will take time. So, these three we will be discussing from that angle. Now, is coming most important part, some of you are still looking into that there will be one midterm exam, right. And now, the term paper, this is the new word for the new MTech students. There are two components, one is the implementation oriented problem, another one is research problem. What does it mean implementation oriented problem? That a group of 2 students with a mentor, there will be a mentor with you, one PhD student will be with you to help you out, to give you the proper guidance, and there will be several biometric traits we are working. One trait will be given, but in the one trait not more than 3 groups, otherwise in the conflict of interest will come, right. So, we do not want, and we will various algorithms on the selected biometrics will be given, that will be given to you, and group has to understand which one is the best. You have to tell why it is best, and then you have to implement on a sample database. The database also will give you, otherwise you also can create the database if it is a new biometrics thread, and you have to finally evaluate your system against the main database, whatever database we have. The sample database is 10, because database cannot be shareable. So, we will give you a small set 10, 15, 20 for your purpose. Finally, what we will do, we have the large database, say 1000 people, and there we will be testing to understand how better is your system. This is one type of problem. Another one is research problem. So, here mentor will be always with you, right? One PhD student will be attached with you, but one student, because here measuring that how much work you have done and how much your friend has done will be difficult. And also you may like to work now, your friend may not like to work now. So, there will be a time delay, so and it is not shareable. So, that is why one student per group and only one problem, simple problem or maybe a sub problem of a problem will be given to you, and not too many groups. We do not want, because this is a very mentor will be loaded. So, we do not want that too many groups, only 1 or 2 groups or 3 groups, and ultimately will be evaluated based on performance of your system. So, any doubt on this slide? Yes, this is, we cannot go outside our domain, otherwise you will come with some problem, we will tell no, we will give the problem, right. Only thing is that you have to tell, you can sit with, say you can think, I do not want too much mathematics in that, but I do not mind to do some new way of solving or image processing analysis, image analysis part. So, that part mentor will take care, do not worry about those parts. Now, these term papers will be given to you, problem will be given to you soon after midterm 1. So, remember the time distance is not too much, midterm 1, between midterm and the end term very short term. So, do not expect that, or do not think this way that I will be, so this is a 1.5 months time is there, I will be solving it, but it is not that type of that simple problem also, right. You have to work and you have to know your mentor more closely, so the mentor gives me the good feedback. Otherwise, if mentor gives me bad feedback, that is bad, I cannot help you, right. Any doubt on term paper, any more questions on term paper? Yes, choice means what?
After seeing the problem, we will decide, or beforehand we have to decide that we will be doing an implementation.
Oh, you want that, but you have to tell whether you want to come this or this side. What depending on what?
What is the research problem and what is the implementation? If the research problem is for someone who is very interested in.
See, you know whether you are strong in implementation or strong in analytical ability. That part only I want to know. You decide that I am good in writing C programs. Say for example, here I am looking for a team, at least one team. I have my own C routines or D routine, L routine, whatever it is. I want to go to now GPU based environment, right. So, can you convert my all routines into the GPU routines or multi-thread, falana, salan, all those things you have to add. This is a simple implementation oriented, right, because time has come where my database size is increasing. So, I have to show that it is near real time. In order to show the near real time, I have to take the help of other environments. This is the first problem. Another problem is that I have several routines which are on MATLAB. Can I convert it into the C routines? These are all, right, not difficult problem. Only thing that, and in the MATLAB also, if you want to know that whole routine is available, only thing is that optimization part only you have to do. So, these are simple implementation issues. This one I will give you 3, 4, 5 papers and you read it and try to find out a new idea. So, here I need more analytical part, this one is more strong in programming, that type of things. But the bottom one is only few, not too many. Now, the question is coming that, sir, what are the books and other things? And as I told you that I will take the help of image processing, pattern recognitions and the statistics. All books are available in the library. Any book is okay for me, but we will not use any particular books. Whatever material I will cover, we will have our biometrics website. In that website, the lecture materials will be available, PowerPoint material. This PowerPoint material will be available in our website. In the website will be name is www.csc.iitk.ac.in/users/biometrics. Under that you will get it, or there will be a web portal also, right? That Kamlesh, you are no Aditya Nigam. My TAs are Aditya Nigam, and Puneet Gupta. Your room number is 109. His seat is 106. His seat is 109. So, PowerPoint materials will be available. We will not prescribe any books. You can take the help of any book. We don't have any problem. But if we consider any research paper, obviously we will give you the link so that you can make use of them. I think that is the end of today's lecture materials.